I play drums and other instruments. I do it because I love it. How cliche is that? No, I really enjoy music. It's been a part of my life since the beginning. I was born in '83, which means the music that was coming out when I was, like 5 to sort of 10 was all the late '80s big hair rock bands. So, one of my sisters, Carolee, she was more heavier, so she listened to thrash bands like Metallica and Slayer and that kind of stuff, more hard rock.
Yeah, Metallica, AC/DC, Kiss, Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, stuff like that. Right into the rock and roll, heavy metal scene.
My other sister Paula was more into, Bon Jovi and Motley Crue and Poison and that kind of stuff, which was, more...
Well, pretty loud, pretty hectic. Matthew, Paula used to have her music playing, doing her hair or whatever, but his first thing was Kiss. That's what brought it to light, really.
One of my close friends, Andrew, he went to high school a year before me, so he started hanging out with people that were playing in bands, and he ended up joining the band. So when I went into high school my first year, they were already like in a band. I just used to go to his house when they had rehearsals. I would just sit in and hang out, and then the drummer wanted to do his own band, like a punk rock band, so he asked me to play drums, and that's kind of where it started. I was actually playing bass first. That band was Pegs. That was the first punk band that I was in. So Pegs evolved into One Way Out, and then when Porter and I left One Way Out, he started another band with other guys from Pegs, and that was called No Strings Attached. In 2003, I decided to go over to Melbourne for the Ultimate Drummers weekend. It was a huge event, massive. Like Virgil was there, Thomas Lang, and all these like super drummers. Earlier in that year, like in February, I went to see Kiss do their symphony concert in Melbourne. I went from Melbourne up to Sydney to hang out with my friend, and I was making my decision where I was going to move, because I knew that I wanted to leave Adelaide. I sort of thought, well, if Kiss choose Melbourne out of anywhere in the world to do their symphony concert, then that's kind of the place where I need to be.
Mixed emotions on him moving to Melbourne, obviously because I would miss him like crazy. He's my little bro.
Well, when he said he wanted to move, I wasn't really happy about it. But Matthew being Matthew, he was determined he was going anyway.
But obviously, had to do it in order to further succeed in what he wanted to do.
I can't remember what year it was, but it was in around December, and we had these like intense summer rain, like full-on floods. It's like wheelie bins going down the street kind of flood.
He phones me up and says, "The rain's coming in. The rain's getting deeper and deeper."
The room that I was in was sort of raised up a couple of steps, and it was like lapping over the steps into the room.
He's getting so worried, I thought, well, we can't do much about it here.
So we had to get a guy to come in to fix the carpets and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, the guy that came, his name was Robert, can't believe I remember it, and he saw that I had a drum kit, and he was like, do you teach? And I was like, okay, I do. Never taught before. When the wall came down, Berlin sort of exploded and had this huge techno scene there, and it's still going. Some of the clubs there are just out of control, so there was always a pull to go there. It was sort of like going to Melbourne for me, in a way. Melbourne was like where the music was happening in Australia.
Didn't really want him to go to Germany because it's so far away.
I wasn't keen on it, but I think the music scene over there is very big, and you've got to go and experience it, I guess.
I just wanted to go to Europe. Like, even when I was studying, I was always looking for exchange opportunities and things. I found a studio there called Noisy, which I just used to hire a studio, and I was making loops in Logic, and I would just improvise. You know, I'd hire the room for an hour or two or whatever and just play. But I was only there for a little while, only there for 4 months, and then I came back to live with Mum and Dad.
I was surprised when he came back here and not Melbourne. I thought he might have came back to Melbourne and stayed in Melbourne because that's where the music's at.
I was ecstatic that he come back home and wondering when he's going to turn around and say, right, I'm off to somewhere else.
So since I got back, I got my The Studio, which is where we're doing the things. So I, do teaching from here, and that's it. But I'm actually transitioning into psychology as well, so studying at Flinders and Adelaide Uni. So I'm trying to sort of bring that all together.
Well, I think he's accomplished a lot. He got his degree in music.
I think he's got it right just now.
And I think he'll achieve what he wants to go for, and he'll get there.
Well, career-wise, I mean, he chose a very difficult career to get into. It's not easy to get in and all of a sudden be famous. He's very talented young man. I think he'll go a long way, and I don't think he'll stop until he gets there.